Alrighty everyone, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be looking at a build for the Strand Warlock. Now this build comes from one of my own ideas, so here it is. But if you want one of your builds to be featured in a future video, then be sure to leave them down in the comments below. But with all that out of the way, let's go right to our abilities. First up, of course, we have our super, Needle Storm. Now, Needle Storm is a great one-off super for boss damage or burst of ad clear. It's also a great way of generating Threadlings. Next up, we have our Rift, our Jump, and our melee, Arcane Needle. Now it's our only melee, but it's a great melee. It gives us 3 melee charges, and upon hitting a target, it will unravel them, which will spawn little needles that will continue to damage them. And for our grenade, we're using Threadling Grenade. Now this is a great nade that when thrown out, will spawn in 3 Threadlings that will go out and seek targets to attack. Now let's move over to our aspects, starting out with the Wanderer. Tangles you throw attach to targets and detonate into a suspending burst. Destroying a tangle creates a suspending burst after a short delay. Threadling final blows also create a tangle. So this gives an extra oomph to our tangles, letting them suspend targets, which will help with controlling ads. Suspend will also stun unstoppable champions. On top of that, our Threadlings will now also be able to create tangles. More to come for our tangles later on though. For now, let's go to our next aspect, Weaver's Call. Activate your class ability to weave 3 Threadlings and deploy any Threadlings you have perched. Targets defeated by strand damage have a chance to generate a perched Threadling. So, more ways of spawning in Threadlings. By just casting our Rift, we will summon in 3 more Threadlings, and we can now gain perched Threadlings, which will unperch whenever you damage targets. Now let's move over to our Fragments, starting out with Thread of Evolution. Threadlings travel farther and deal additional damage. So, this is a very healthy buff to our Threadlings. Now we here at Alrighty Gaming contacted our friend Alrighty Numbers and have concluded that it's a 33% damage increase that our Threadlings receive, which is why we want so many ways of creating Threadlings. This fragment also gives us a plus 10 to our intellect stat. Next up, we have Thread of Isolation. Landing rapid precision hits emits a severing burst from the target. So this is great as it is a very easily applied debuff that will reduce the outgoing damage from afflicted targets. Severed targets will also create a tangle upon being defeated. Next up, we have Thread of Warding. Picking up an Orb of Power grants Woven Mail. So, Woven Mail is a form of damage resistance, and that's something that we can always use in our gameplay. Now, you only get 5 seconds for picking up 1 orb, but I imagine in a fire team with a lot of people generating orbs, you'll be able to have this buff up constantly. However, it does take away minus 10 from our resilience stat. And rounding it out, we have Thread of Propagation. Powered melee final blows grant your strand weapons unraveling rounds. So, this will allow our strand weapons to unravel targets similar to our melee, and will now also let them stun barrier champions. On top of all that, this fragment also gives us a plus 10 to our strength stat. Now let's go over to our exotics, starting out with Buried Bloodline. Our intrinsic, Hungering Quarrel, reads Double Fires Tracking Bolts. Landing bolts leeches health from the target. Our trait, Violent Reanimation, reads multiple final blows with this weapon grant Devour to the wielder, and our catalyst allows this weapon to weaken targets on hit while Devour is active. So Devour is a buff that will grant grenade energy and restore you to full health upon target final blows. The buff is also refreshed upon killing a target. Like damage resistance, this is always a great thing for us in our builds. Now let's move over to our next exotic, Swarmers. Our trait, Swarmers, reads, destroying a tangle spawns a Threadling. Your Threadlings unravel targets that they damage. So, 2 really cool things here. First up, our tangles will now spawn in 2 Threadlings that will go out and seek targets, which double dips into our Wanderer aspect, as now Threadling final blows will create tangles. So there's a bit of a loop there. And second, Threadlings will now also unravel targets, which will make them take additional damage to strand needles. Now let's go over to our weapons, namely Imminence. Really, all you need is a strand primary with Demolitionist and Hatchling. Hatchling, letting you spawn in Threadlings on precision final blows and rapid final blows, and Demolitionist, giving us grenade energy on final blows and also refilling our magazine upon casting our grenade. As for our seasonal mods, there's only a few to take note of. Threaded Blast. Destroying a tangle with a strand weapon creates a larger and more damaging explosion, which is great because of our strand primary, and Shield Crush, which will give us some buffs to our melee while we have Woven Mail. In terms of armor mods, there's not really anything in specific, just mods that will improve the overall quality of the build, so feel free to copy these. So, for our gameplay loop. Basically what's going on is we're throwing out our Threadling grenade to spawn in 3 Threadlings that will go out and attack targets. Whenever we get our rift, we'll place that down to spawn in another 3 Threadlings. All Threadlings spawned in from any source will unravel targets and create tangles. Destroying tangles will create a suspending burst and spawn in 2 more Threadlings. We're using our buried bloodline to give ourselves devour so that way we can restore our health and gain grenade energy upon final blows, and our strand primary with demolitionist and hatchling will lead to more Threadlings being spawned, and on top of that, our super will be a great way of clearing adds, dealing boss damage, and spawning in Threadlings. So that's the build, so be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and with all that out of the way, let's go right to the showcase. Alrighty, let's see what this build can do. Oh, let's go. Threadling. Just about all the strand keywords are active in this build. It's pretty cool. I know there's gonna be some here, right? Yeah. Look at that. Throwable Johns. Tracking Johns now. Johns creating Johns. Good first round. Oh shoot, what? Oh, we're going right into it. Boss damage on that guy. Get some Threadlings out over here. Yeah, buddy. Bro, we're all in one night? Are you serious? Bro, why are they coming to me in a straight line, bro? We could take on more ads at once. Pause. Alright, decoy, I'll get you up, I guess. Same spot. Oh, this time we got ogres in first throw. Look at that. You see, the great part about these Threadlings is that even if you, like, miss a grenade or they don't, like, seek out and kill anything, it's not like they're lost, because they'll just track back to you and then you can redistribute them. And watch this activate the super there. Boom. Beautiful. I guess I'll kill all of them myself. Don't worry about it, teammates. And I get the spark, I guess. Go on, Threadlings. Yes. Yes! Alright, decoy. Let's get you a better broom. Just so you know, it's always 4 red bars defeated in order to proc devour with buried bloodlines. I don't know why I'm supering that, but I'm supering that. Damn, why are there so many first throw? Like, chill, bruh. Open up with a quick super. It's a streaker boss, so it's probably gonna die quickly. But that's alright, because we'll have our fun. Dang, bro. Shrieker boss dies too fast. Well, that was the build. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you next time. Stay alrighty.